I'm Sheila Cornelius, the CEO of Lamb Naturals and then the Managing Director for Cornelius Farms. The Lamb Naturals is into the production of household consumables like formulation of shea butter creams, production of liquid soap, African black soap, detergents, bar soaps, etc. And the Cornelius Farms is mainly into production of farming of the farm produces that we have. That is the mango, the vegetables, and then the rice.
To think that a mother, a wife, and a woman for that matter would own these mini agribusiness ventures is a statement that the potentials in agribusiness cannot be overemphasized.
I have HND in mechanical engineering and BSc in environmental and natural resources management.
Also, she is book smart and sought after in her professional field.
I was initially working with a lot of companies. I started with Accra Metropolitan Assembly, working on the Kwale Lagoon project as a mechanical clerk of works. And then from there, I moved to Metro Mass Transit as a workshop supervisor.
Venturing into agribusiness and bidding a budding professional life goodbye just goes to say she was really meant to do this.
During the COVID time, I had to resign fully from my job and then take up this one as a full-time job because I was having little kids coming up. That's the reason why I resigned from my job, to have more time for the farm and also have time for my family. At Cornelius Farms, we are into production of mangoes, vegetables, and rice, and other cereals.
COVID, regardless of the shock and fear it brought to the world, was also a defining moment for Sheila Cornelius because whilst everyone was drawn to the scarcity in food supplies, she saw an opportunity and a dream.
Cornelius Farms started in 2017. Because of my background in environmental and natural resources management, we went into forestries. So we planted 25 acres of forest trees in Cape Coast. We have species like the mahogany, the kaila, the redwood. But during the COVID time, that is when I saw the need for food production. Because as we were hoarding the food, we realized that there was food shortage. When you go to this market, you cannot even find your gari, you cannot find this. And then again, we wanted to have our fresh produce, to know the source of the food. That brought in the idea to go into food production. That made me to leave all my jobs and then come into farming as a full-time job.
Without applying the brakes, Sheila went on with starting a vegetable farm, and like any business venture, this came with its own risk, but the lessons were learned, strategies were implemented, and the business was nurtured.
The vegetables that we started with was chilli, the long chilli. We started with Legone 18 and then we moved on to Navita, that's from Sakata. We started the chilli at Abura Dowenzi in the central region. We acquired that land by buying it outright. And it's a 80 acres land. Our first harvest with the chili was impressive, and we did it during the rainy season. But we realized that we needed an all year round production, so we decided to go in for irrigation system. So we dug a borehole at Abura Dowenzi, got our irrigation system. We were using two types, that's the drip irrigation and then the micro spray.
It looks like Cornelius Farms got it right from the word go, as their produce was export ready. But of course, there were a few failures here and there, without which the story told will not be complete.
There was a factory in Cape Coast. They were buying our chilies for us. Straight from the farm, it goes to that factory. They were buying the red, that's the ripe ones. The green was being bought by Maflex Ghana Limited for export. Our protocol too was on point. If not, the export market will not come in for our chili. So we saw the potential in that and we decided to expand and go into other vegetables. So we tried cabbage there, but that one was for the local market in Central Region. That's Cape Coast Market. And it was also okay. We tried watermelon. That didn't go well for us over there. We tried cucumber. That one too couldn't go well for us over there.
In 2 years, a decision to stop working full-time to venture into agribusiness has suddenly become another full-time with a chili pepper, mango, rice, coconut and pineapple farms feeding both the local and international markets.
And from 2020, we've been able to expand from the chili, doing coconut and then pineapple in the Central Region. From there, we came to acquire this mango farm at asutuare.
From seeing great prospects in the Central Region during the early days of her new venture, Sheila's motivation parachuted her from Abura Duwenzi to asutuare, all in a desire to contribute to global food security.
When we came to asutuare, we realized that there's a lot of potentials in this town. For instance, fish farming, rice farming. So we decided that we would join the rice farming because rice is also a staple food. I used some few months to study it here, how they go about it. And here, the lands are leased. Here, they don't sell it outright. We're able to acquire 5 acres. That is 2 hectares. The lands, we have the irrigation sites, and then we have the individual lands. So we went to an individual to acquire land from the person to do our rice farming. So we decided to have a name for that rice that we produce because it's all rice. Though the variety mostly grown here is X-Biker. So that is where we had our Okorowa perfumed rice, Ghana rice. I named the Okorowa after my sister. She has been of a great help to me. So I wanted to honor her by using her name, Okorowa. And Okorowa means Okoro, that is the eagle.
You can take the industry away from a smart woman, but you cannot take the industriousness out of her. COVID and the lockdown only got Sheila looking at other opportunities to be industrious. Through the internet and search engines, Lamb Naturals was also conceived.
During the COVID that we're at home, I am the type that I'm always busy with work and I couldn't stay just confined at one place. So I decided to go on the net, the YouTube, to read a lot or do more research. And then I realized that production of other household consumables is everyday use, like soap. So I tried to learn on it. There I chanced on companies or associations that are teaching online production. And you know, those times where lockdowns were kept at home. So I learned those things on the YouTube. And then also Madam Ednora, I think Peach, that's her company's name, to learn how to produce liquid soap, bar soap, all online. And then I tried to get ingredients to produce some at home to see. Then fortunately for us, after the lockdown, she organized her first in-person training. That's Madam Ednora at Kaswa. I went all the way there to go and learn in person. So from there, when I came back, I realized that the ladies who have been passing around, sometimes someone will come and ask you, please, madam, do you have some job for me? Please, can I come and wash for you so that you pay me? Then I tried that. Why not introduce this thing that I've learned and then teach them? So first, when you are calling them, they will not come. I started with 2 girls and then 1 boy in producing this liquid soap. We produce, then they go and sell it out. And you know, during that time, liquid soap was something that was in demand. Yeah, so we did a lot of liquid soap, parazones, that's bleach. That is where they acquire some skills. Now, some of them are doing their own. And I think some of them are also training people. So that was what birthed Lamb Naturals.
As an agripreneur and a mother, her desire to learn and acquire new skills got Sheila formulating a shea butter body cream for her kids. As fortune may have it, this cream product has been licensed by the Food and Drugs Authority and the Ghana Standards Authority as Lamb Naturals body cream product for the market.
The reason why I went into the sheabutter formulation was for my children, their skin. And I came with a recipe that was good for them. And from 2019 up to now, that is the pomade we use at home. So I realized that the world also needs to benefit from it. And that's why we took it to the FDA, then the Ghana Standard Board to check for us, and they approved it. They came even for our facility inspection, and they gave us the license to produce it. So we have the Lamb Naturals body cream, the one with turmeric, we have the one with olive and sunflower, and then we have the raw one for those who wants to use the raw one. We even have one with carrot oil for the hair, especially the afro hair that we also formulated.
Sheila is proving time and time again that if there would be an end to unemployment in Ghana, it would surely be through agribusiness. For a woman who has got a couple of agribusinesses going on well, it didn't stop her from learning how to produce yogurts or from resources on the internet.
Again, we also learned about yogurt production using cow milk. Yogurt and Milk Manufacturers Association of Ghana. We are a member of it. Yes. So we've been producing yogurt also, but not on a large scale. Last year, the United Nations FAO, their team were in our facility to check on that, and they selected some people, and we were fortunate to be part of them, that they took us for more intensive training into this yogurt and milk production. The Lamb Naturals is also the distributor or the supplier to clients. The products all from the Cornelius farms, except our major clients like Blueskies, HPW, and then Bomat, who buys the mangoes and is directly in the name of Cornelius farms.
Somewhere in the lower Volta Plains is located the asutuare irrigation scheme, the first irrigation dam built by the government of Ghana post-independence. 54 years on, the scheme continues to live up to its purpose, giving Cornelius farms a good enough reason to invest in farms within the area.
And here in asutuare, you have a lot of combine harvesters here that you can rent to come and work for you on your farm, to harvest for you. And then we have the millers, we have the one for sorting. So all that you do is from production, you just move to the mill. And before it will come out, everything is done for you up to the bargain. So it was easy. Not now that we carry the paddy rice from here to go and look for a mill or anywhere. So after production, we do everything here. And then all we have is our bagged rice back to Tema or Accra and for distribution. Here we have about 32 acres of mangoes. And the varieties of the mangoes we have here is the Kate, as you can see. We have apple mango, that's the Kent. We have Palmer, we have Tommy Akins, and then we have Haiti.
Other variety of mangoes grown in Ghana are Francine and Ivan. Altogether, these varieties are known for their extended storage life, fruity content, availability in off-seasons, and their ability to reduce post-harvest losses.
The idea of going into this variety, that's the hybrid ones, the grafted ones, is that one, they are resistant to diseases, not that too high than the local one, but it's also for export.
For the Kate, Kent, Palmer, Tommy Atkins and Hayden varieties to yield the desired profitability, a sustainable farming approach like integrated farming needs to be considered.
Here we do integrated farming. We've added the vegetables or intercropping. We also do compost and mulching here. We are trying to do mostly organic, going into natural means of fertilizing our crops here. As you can see, here we are not applying weedicide now, it's slashing by manpower.
Coconut is gradually becoming the new cash crop in Ghana. With its many byproducts, The industry is said to be worth over $2.8 million. And seeing how determined Cornelius Farms is, it's no surprise that Sheila would want to have a share of that market.
So with the Cape Coast land, the 80 acre, our focus or our aim is to have about 40 acres of coconut on that land. The remaining 40 acres, because we have already into mango here, we wanted to try mango at that side too. So we have started with 2 acres to see how it will go, how it will perform. And then if it performs well for us, then we'll expand it into about 20 acres. So that the remaining 20 acres will go into other crops like the vegetables, and then pawpaw, plantain, cassava, maize over there. So there we do a lot of intercropping over there and a lot of mixed cropping over there. And it's part of the integrated form of farming.
This form of farming is known to reduce production costs and increase soil fertility for sustainable food supply.
This is our rice farm. This is 2.5 acres. We know the rice farming, we do 2 types of planting. That's transplanting and then broadcasting. And here is broadcasting type. The variety of rice that we use is the X biker. The reason for that is it gives good yield. So the maintenance too is low. But then milling, most of the time it doesn't break too much. So you are assured of the long grain and polishing it. You may ask, well, how do we get the water here? There are canals being constructed over there. We have control systems over there where we have valves that controls the inflow of the water. When we want to plant our rice, what we do is we open the valve. There's a channel there that brings the water in here for us. Then it floods the land. And then here, because we did broadcasting, we just stand here and then broadcast. You go in broadcast. You can see there are bonds. That's where we can work. We used to do maintenance on the land. If you want to apply something, weed control, you work on that. You just don't work inside. So we have it in between for maintenance. After the seeds have settled down, you release the water. It goes through the bypass here. And here, as you can see, it's been done in channels. You can see from the other side, so everybody in its plots. The land here is being leased.
Rice production in Ghana has greatly improved, and it's because of the emergence of pockets of rice farm hubs where farmers only need to own a land, grow their rice seeds, and nurture it, whilst farm machines are readily available for hire from pre-production to post-production. Asutuare Rice Farms is one of such rice farm hubs.
The combined harvester will be rented to come and do the harvesting. After harvesting, we bag them as paddy rice with the seed coat on it, everything to the mill side. And from here up to asutuare, we have individual mills over there. We dry it, sun dry, because here we don't have dehydrators to do that. We have the ones that do the milling, it, polishing, and then grading. And there you sieve it so well that we don't have even sand in it.
Gone are the days where rice made in Ghana would not make an appearance in any discussion on global standards. Thanks to mechanization and its adaptation by Ghanaian rice farmers, rice made in Ghana is getting a good deal of attention for its quality standards by both local and international consumers.
The ones that we have right now, it's even more competitive than the foreign one. Now that more education is going into the rice farming, now people are patronizing as than before. So now the demand for Ghana rice is getting high. Even people outside are even asking for it. Aside this, we also have these community trainings we do. There is a community here at asutuare called Klebuse. We did a training for the farmers there, and I was happy majority of them were women.
For a mother, a wife, and an entrepreneur who is going all out with a combination of different agribusinesses, one would wonder how Sheila Cornelius' typical day looks like.
By 4 a.m. I'm up and thinking about how to organize my kids for school, and by 6 o'clock I may leave home to the farm. If I'm to go to Cape Coast, mostly even 3 a.m. that I leave the house to Cape Coast and then go and then supervise the work there. Most of the time, leaving the farm is the whole day. So mostly by 5 p.m. before I'll leave the farm to get home. At times I'll get home at like 10 p.m. sometimes 9 p.m. and then go and take care of the housework also. Even on Sundays, we are sometimes on the farm. Because if there's supposed to be a serious work on the farm, like we need not miss the operations like the mango. Time for applying or doing flower induction, we need to be here. So if it falls on Sunday, we have to be here.
One resounding advice that would also be a key consideration for any agribusiness venture is the availability and readiness of a market to uptake your farm produce when it's time to harvest.
We did watermelon, we couldn't make anything out of it. We did cucumber, because all those things we didn't plan. It was at the wrong timing. When it was in abundance, it's not like that. Before you do, you need to have those coming, your buyers down. But something like chili pepper, you produce, you don't even get buyers. You can dry, add value to it. You can dry pepper, fetch a lot of money. And the reason why we selected chili first was, oh, let's do tomatoes. But right now, if I do tomatoes and we don't get buyers, what are we doing to prevent these losses? Or how are we doing to preserve it? I look at cabbage. If you produce cabbage and we are not able to get buyers or for them to buy all for us, what are we going to do? So the only product that came in mind was the chili. That being it fresh, being it even unripe, being it dry, we'll get market for it.
As a professional who has decided to venture into agribusiness, being a hands-on farmer is the easiest way to learn fast, adapt, improve, and become profitable at a high level.
It has exposed me to a lot of things through production to processing or harvesting. Also, exposure to have that network. Because of this training, we're able to have network. So right now, if I'm looking for something, no, now that I'm searching, I can call a friend from a group or anywhere and they ask, oh, do you know someone with this or that? That linkage is there. So I would say the journey so far is not that easy. It is not that easy, but it's awesome.
There are a lot of interventions and support from NGOs and donor agencies when it comes to women in agribusiness. Cornelius Farms and Lamb Naturals, headed by a woman, has had a good deal of support from such organizations.
Some companies like GIZ have been of so many helps to us. For instance, right now, we are almost through with our global gap certificate for mango exports, for the mango. And it was sponsored by GIZ. We took in only 20%. Again, GIZ was able to get us a 23 dehydrator. So during abundance yield, like the major season like this, most of the food go bad, so that we can dehydrate and have dry fruits. Not only that one, even the pepper and other vegetables we can use. So we have about 20 trays of dehydrator provided to us at no cost from GIZ. It's Cosmos Innovation Center. They have been of a great help in capacity building trainings for us. Through these trainings that we are trying to be more inclined to climate change adaptation, like doing not what everybody is doing, but things that can be beneficial to the environment and also to ourselves. We are a member of WACOM, so they too have been doing capacity trainings for us. I'm a member of Ignite, that's 2022 member of Ignite. That's Women in Agribusiness. It is a visa, yes. The protocols in farming or food production are very key. I did agric in the Brigels, so I had that little background, and I did crop production. I have that background there. But for a lowman or someone who doesn't have any background in agriculture, I will tell you, you need to learn or get somebody who is qualified.
It is very important to be a hands-on farmer. You need to get your hands working and become knowledgeable at what you are doing if you are ever going to succeed. As Sheila puts it succinctly, post-harvest losses or gains will be determined at the land preparation stage of production.
Production or even post-harvest losses doesn't even start from when the thing is ready and you are transporting it or you are harvesting. It starts from land preparation. That's the first one. When you fail in your land preparation, know that the end result is also going to fail you. So from land preparation, you need to get it right. How you prepare your land, whether you are doing zero tillage or mechanized one whereby you are going to use the tractor or you are going to use tillers to prepare the land for you, is also there. So which way you want to go, you should make sure your land preparation is key. Now back to those that will nurse, like doing nursery. When you fail at your nursery, know that on the field you are going to fail. The time you need to weed control, time of applications of chemicals, you need to get them all right. You should know them. And the plants also speak to you. When you learn a lot, you know that at this moment, it needs this, it needs that, it needs this kind of nutrient to boost it. This is what you should know. You should also have soil tests. Most of us here, we don't do that. My brother was able to do cabbage here. It went very well. So I am about 200 meters away from him, or I have a land close to where he is, so me too I can do cabbage, because you may fail.
Cornelius Farms and Lamb Naturals have had their fair share of challenges, but they have been met with solutions and counter solutions.
The challenges in one is land acquisition. This, as I said, we acquired it from someone who already got it from them. So since that we've been here, we have problems with the villagers about they want to create a main road through the farm. Now, theft, because I am not 24 hours on the farm. Major challenge is theft. You saw a gentleman here trying to install CCTV cameras for us here. And that is the new initiative we want to do, to see how best we can curb that, yes.
Availability and readiness of human capital is a challenge that is out of reach of Sheila's control. The young men and women she recruits as farm hands have not yet grasped the real potential of agribusiness.
Now we have challenges with labor, workers. Mostly, is men. We also have female, because that was my aim, because of where I'm coming from, to have a lot of women into the agribusiness. But look at my village here. When you bring in women here, they come today, tomorrow they will not come. In the excuse of using their husbands and a whole lot of stories, and they will not be here. We say there is no job, we are creating jobs. The youth come in, and I think they don't understand what they want to do about the farming. They come, then they go back. Yes. Here in this community, they have a work here similar to Galamsey, like digging and getting oyster shells from the ground. Most of them come, they prefer to go and do that job. So these are some of the challenges. Some of them too, especially those that we export them from the north to come. I have about 5 people who have done this to me. That's why I'm using it as an example. They have in mind to come to Accra and come and do their work at Agribusiness or whatever, but may not have transport to come. They come, they work 1 month after payment, then they run away and go back to their Agribusiness. And so these are some of the challenges that we are facing.
Climate change and its resultant effect of change in the rainfall pattern has the potential to affect food supply and food security greatly. A solution to such a challenge transcends the decisions of an individual to a global conversation.
Climate change is also another challenge. For instance, this year you could see that we couldn't get enough fruits as expected. Yes. Why? Because in January we had some 2 heavy rains that came non-stop during January this year, and it affected our flowers. Most of them dropped. So the few that remain are those that produce these fruits for us that you can see.
The cost of food is bound to keep going high if there are no interventions to curb the depreciation of the cedi, because most of our farm inputs are sourced internationally. Prices of inputs have seen over 300% increase since COVID and other global crises emerged.
For instance, let me use the weedicide. Early 2019, even when the COVID started, we were buying 1 liter for 11 Ghana cedis. As I'm speaking to you, it's 80 cedis and 90 cedis per just that liter. So you can just imagine making production costs very expensive.
In fact, the potentials in agribusiness were not fit into a book because day in and day out, our needs and prospects churn out new ideas and potentials along the value chain.
There are lots of potential in agribusiness. In the agribusiness chain, there's a lot that you can do. It's not necessary for you to be a farmer as a woman. It's not necessary. You can even aggregate, go to farmers, buy, like farmers like us, you buy from us, go and sell it out, you make money out of it. There are something like chili or other vegetables. You can buy, add value to it, and then sell it out. Okra can be in season, but we have dry okra. A lot of people are into this dry okra. We have a lot of foreigners here who love okra, even the dry ones. You can go into that. You can dry this okra, and there's not necessary for you to come and be a farmer.
For a professional who has decided to drop her pen and qualifications, strap her boots, and get on the farm to feed the world, this is what she has to say to the presidency and government.
If I'm given the opportunity to meet the president of Ghana, the Republic of Ghana, or the minister of Agri, the first thing I'll tell them, they should look more into the agribusiness. Especially, we have simple tools that even most are not produced in Ghana but outside. The taxes on them should be reduced. That will reduce our production cost. From Akwese coming to this place, the road network is bad. During rainy season like this, transporting goods is very difficult. The trucks that these big companies come, like the blueskies, is big trucks. And you can imagine, times they are stacked. We need to get tractors and other big cars to come and push them a whole lot. And some of them even have to stay overnight, because the road network is bad. So they should look into it. Look into where we have these farms. Not only, I'm not talking about my farm alone, but other farms, yes.
A salute to Sheila Cornelius and women in agribusiness. You wake up every morning thinking of how to feed the world and go to bed every evening planning on how to sustain the world's food supply.